Okay, so I couldn't find any videos in English on how to repair and replace the shapeshifter. So what I've done is I took out these two bolts on top of here, took the cover off here, that's 10 millimeter. I believe that was a 6 millimeter. Now you don't actually take this one off. This is on the other side. Now remember, you're working on the bike from the non-drive side. So over here, if you want to save yourself some hassle, this bolt, don't take it all the way out, just enough so that you can get the other side off, but it keeps this pivot in place. It'll make your life a lot easier. So once you do that, this guy, if you take this pin completely or almost completely out, this whole piece comes off and it gives you access to the shapeshifter. And at that point, let me put this down real quick. You can just kind of okay, so what I did was I pulled some tension on this to act as if the suspension was being compressed. What this does is it allows you to just simply take that off, and this whole area kind of falls apart. Now, let's see. I did this before, not on video, but basically you just pull this off. It's tight, and you gotta wiggle it a little, and my stand kind of sucks, but let me get that off. Okay, so once you get this off, I super glued all this so that hopefully I do not have to replace this cable. I'm gonna cut it right there to give me as much length as possible, and hopefully I'll be able to go ahead and put this through the next one. There's a teeny tiny little eyelet, Allen wrench, hex key somewhere in here. So the new one, basically you thread it through and then you clamp it down using that teeny tiny little screw, and as this pushes in, it releases the shapeshifter to move. So hopefully we can get this guy all back together okay. Okay, so new one, old one. The way this is supposed to work is you hit this button and this either pops out or goes in, but it's completely stuck. I couldn't even force it out with my body weight on the wheel of my bike. So this guy, let's see if I can do this so you can see it. The cable goes through the bottom and you pull it, and that goes out, and that shifts it into the cross-country mode. And if I push the button, push down on it real hard, it goes back in. So that's when you kind of push down on it while the button's pressed. So I had to replace the cable, and I didn't ever see this anywhere else on the internet, so I wanted to show you guys how this goes together. So you just kind of compress this in there, and there's a spring in here, which there's no way we are going to be able to see. But anyways, this seats around the spring, and then there's some sort of ball actuated valve that, as this gets sucked in, it presses it down, and that actuates the shapeshifter. So I just need to tension this cable correctly. I didn't show you guys routing that because I figure you're not attempting this unless you've done a few cables before. Alright, let's test this before we put it in. Looks good. Okay, so I did the cable. Hopefully that's all I need to do. This should pretty easily slip on. We'll see. Of course, it's not as easy as it should be. So you can tuck the cable back up under here. And there's actually something to hold it once you get this on a little further. Alright, cool. Now I gotta take this out and kind of put the whole shock area back together. I'll get back to you in a couple minutes. Okay, so I definitely recommend putting this plastic piece back on first. It's a lot easier if you kind of lift up the rear suspension. Just kind of clicks into place. Now then, this is just kind of an axle. It's not screwed in or anything, but this, I believe, is the non-drive side. So this is the drive side. So you just want to slide it in through here. I'm just gonna, oh, it actually went in pretty well. Just gonna tap it in a little bit. Cool. Push this guy over a little bit. Okay, so now we just need to put this back together. That goes on pretty easily, actually. Okay, so don't forget your little washer in here, and you're pretty much done. Okay, so I couldn't get this to get quite tight enough just by hand, so I just used a simple wood clamp because it's soft. I'm going to put these two screws in, and hopefully that'll solve that issue. And everything else looks like it aligns pretty well. I'll get back to you in a minute. Got everything put back together. I really did like that wood clamp to just kind of help cinch everything down. Yeah, you can't really see anything back there. Alright. I guess it's just time to pump up the shapeshifter. That's really cool. That little piece is aluminum. I always thought it was plastic. Alright, so time to pump up the shapeshifter, put the back wheel on, and see if she works. Alright, everything is all put back together, all pumped up. I think at this point the only thing left to do is to just put the rear wheel on and try her out. Alright, so everything seems to be working. And then the shapeshifter works actually, I feel like, better than it has ever worked. But hey, that's cool. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll try to help you out, because you know I wanted some help with this because it seemed like a weird piece to replace.